Guys, our second lesson for vectors is going to be talking about the dot product and the angle between two vectors. All right, the dot product's answer is a scalar, not a vector, which means the dot product is going to be a number. The dot product is just another math operations like adding, subtracting, dividing, squaring, square rooting, all that good stuff. Dot product is just another operation. All right, the definition. The dot product of vector u and vector v is u dot v. It's not multiplication, it's u dot v. It's u1 v1 plus u2 v2. So we'll multiply the first numbers of each vector, multiply the second numbers of each vector, and add them together. All right, some properties. U dot v is the same as v dot u. You can dot product in any order, doesn't matter. If you do 0 dot a vector, you're going to get 0 as an answer. If I want u dot vector v plus vector w, it's the same idea as distributive property, but we're not going to multiply, we're going to dot. So I'm going to u dot v, u dot w, add them together. V dot v, if you take the dot product of the same vector, you're going to get the length, the magnitude of v squared. So if you have to find the magnitude of a vector squared, you can do v dot v. And lastly, c, which is just a number, times u dot v, you don't quote distribute into both of them, you distribute into one, and then you dot the rest, or you dot them and multiply. All right, so the first problem. Vector 1 is 410, vector 2 is 3, 1. So do the dot product, I'm going to multiply 4 times 3 plus 10 times 1, 12 plus 10 is 22. The dot product of the vectors 4, 10, and 3, 1 is 22. It's a number, it's not a vector. All right, vector u is 2i plus 5j. Vector v is 9i minus 3j. 2, 5, 9, negative 3 if you need to. So I'm going to do 2 times 9 is 18, plus 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. My dot product is going to be 3. Multiply, multiply, add them together. Dot product's a number. All right, using some of these properties. I want to know what u dot 2v is. So I want to know what u, negative 1, 3, dot 2 times 2, negative 4. So I'm going to do that 2 times a vector, 4, negative 8. Now my dot product, negative 1 times 4, plus 3 times negative 8, negative 4, minus 24, negative 28. Hopefully this is pretty straightforward. All right, number 4 says I want the magnitude of v squared. So we're going to do this twice. Once I'm going to find the magnitude of v, then I'm going to square it. The second time, which was one of our properties, is v dot v is the same thing. All right, so the magnitude of v. I'm going to square each piece, add them together, get the square root of 20. And I'm going to leave it like that because what I want to do next is square it, and I just get 20. Oh my goodness. All right, let me back up. I don't think you saw anything recently. All right, let's go back a couple problems. So u dot 2v, vector u dot 2 times this vector. I distribute, then I dot product. I get negative 28. All right, number 4. I'm going to find the magnitude of this and square it. So the magnitude is going to be 2 squared plus 16, which is negative 4 squared, square root of 20. I square it, and I get regular 20. Now if I do the dot product, I'm going to get 4 plus 16, which is still 20. So if I want the magnitude squared, just do v dot v. All right, next. We're going to find the angle between two vectors, and we're going to be working with thetas between 0 and pi. All right, if theta is an angle between two non-zero vectors, which means they both have length, vectors u and v, then the cosine of theta is going to equal u dot v over the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v. Just a formula. We know how to find the magnitudes, we know how to find the dot product, and we've also learned how to solve for theta. So these are my two vectors, vector u and vector v. What we're going to do is we're going to draw both. We're going to find the angle between them. All right, so this is what we have. Vector u, starting at my origin, I went right 4 and up 4. Vector v, I went right 2 and up nowhere. So what I'm looking for is this angle theta. It's the angle between the two vectors. All right, so the cosine of theta is going to be u dot v divided by the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v. All right, so my magnitude is going to be the square root of 4 squared plus 4 squared, square root of 32, which is 4 squared, so 2. The magnitude of v is 2 squared plus 0 squared, square root of 4, which is 2. So I'm going to have the cosine of theta is going to equal 4 squared, so 2, times 2. Now, u dot v. And let me grab another pencil real quick. All right, my dot product. 4,4.20. Multiply, I get 8. Multiply, I get 0. I'm going to put an 8 up here. So now I have the cosine of theta is 8 over 8 squared, so 2. So the cosine of theta is 1 over the square root of 2, which we know is square root of 2 over 2. Now, if the cosine of theta is square root of 2 over 2, that's a good value in my unit circle. We should be able to say, without thinking too hard, theta is a 45-degree angle. And if we look here, 4, 4, yeah, I'm good with that. If we can't do this, we're going to go to the calculator. Because I could say that theta is going to be the inverse cosine of square root of 2 over 2, and the calculator would spit out my 45-degree angle. All right, the next one. Vector u is I minus 6j, which I'm going to change to 1, negative 6. Vector v is 2i minus 12j, 2, negative 12. All right, so my magnitude is going to be 1 squared plus square root of 30 plus 36, or 6 squared, square root of 37. The magnitude on the bottom is going to be 4 plus 144, which is going to be square root of 148, which 148 divided by 4, there we go. 2 squared roots of 37, doing a little factor tree. All right, so these are my two magnitudes. Now I'm going to do my dot product. And I'm going to get 2 plus 72, which is 74. All right, so now I have the cosine of theta is going to be equal to 74 over 2 square roots of 37 times square root of 37, which is the cosine of theta equals 74 over square root of 37 times square root of 37 is 37, times 2 is 74. Cosine of theta is going to equal 1. So that's what I'm working with. 1's another good value. Cosine of theta equals 1. Where's my x value 1? That's when my theta is the angle 0 degrees. or second cosine of 1 still gives me my 0 degrees. Does that make sense? Let's think. So over here we said there's a 45-degree angle between them. Down here we're saying there's a 0-degree angle between them. So if there's not an angle between them, they must be the same vector or direction. They may be going the same way. So if you look at these two, what's the difference? This second one is twice the first one. So if the second one, if I take a 2 out, they're the same vector. This one is just twice as long. So there is no angle between these two. All right, so it comes down to the formula. If we have this formula, we know how to do the dot product. We know how to find our magnitude. We just plug it in and chug through the problem. All right, so for this lesson, what we've learned is the dot product, which is an operation like multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And then we found the angle between two vertex. I start over, two vectors, whatever that word is. All right, that's our second lesson for this week. All right, I'm going to hopefully for the rest of the year post everything on Monday and give you the whole week to work on it and get it done, depending on how fast you can work or what other work you have to do for other classes. If you need any help, let me know, and I hope everything's going well with you and your family at home. Enjoy.